Hi everyone and welcome to C++ for Absolute Beginners course. In this course, we're going to learn about one of the most popular programming languages in the world of software engineering. But before we write our first line of code, let's take a few moments to learn what computer programming actually means. When we say that we're going to be writing a program, that means that we're going to be writing a sequence of instructions for the computer to accomplish a specific task. Okay, so we're going to be writing. Does that mean that we're going to be writing in English? Well, the answer is no. English and other human languages are inherently ambiguous. I can write a single sentence in English and two different people may understand two different things from the same exact sentence. Obviously, if I write a line of code, I would like the computer to understand exactly one thing from that line of code. So what language are we going to use? Actually, computers understand one and only one language, and this language is called machine language or machine code or binary language or binary code, and it consists only of zeros and ones. But the problem is that writing a complex task in this language is very difficult and very time consuming. Instead, we write in what's called a high-level language. A high-level language is close enough to English, but at the same time, it's precise, meaning that if I write a line of code in one of these high-level languages, it's going to mean exactly one thing. Examples of these high-level languages include C++, Java, and many other languages. This course is going to be using C++, obviously. Remember, however, that computers understand only machine language, so we would need some tools that are going to convert this C++ code, for example, to a machine language for the computer to be able to execute this code. Actually, we use a lot of tools in software development. For example, we use a code editor to open a file, write our code, edit it, and save it, and so on. We also need a compiler which does the bulk of the job of converting our code from, let's say, C++ to the machine language so that our computer can execute it. We're going to learn many other tools as we progress in this course. So with this, let's get back to writing our first program. In this course, I'm going to be using Visual Studio Code as my code editor and G++ as my compiler. So this is Visual Studio Code. To create a file, I click here and then I input the name of the file, and I'm going to name my file as main.cpp. Now the extension .cpp means that this is a C++ code that is going to be inside this file. So once I hit enter, the file is open for me and I can just go ahead and write the code here. Now, it is a tradition that the first program that we usually write in any programming language is a hello world program. It's a very simple program. All what it does, it prints the text hello world to the display. So let's just go ahead and start writing this code. So we start with the hash sign and then include, and then between angular brackets, we write IO stream. Now, before I proceed, I must say that writing even a very simple program requires understanding so many concepts. So in this video, I'm going to focus on few things. And as we proceed, the meaning of every line that we write here is going to become clear. So on a new line, I write using name space as a single word, and then std semicolon. And then on a new line, I write int, which stands for integer, and then main, and then parentheses, opening parentheses and closing parentheses, and then opening braces and closing braces, and then I bring these on a new line. I get between these braces, and then I write cout, which stands for console output, and then double angular brackets, and then I write double quotations, and between these double quotations, I write the text that I would like to write, which is, in this case, hello world. I also write a \n while I'm still between these double quotations. Now I go out of these double quotations and I write semicolon. I get to a new line and I write return 0. Now my program is complete. Let's just go ahead and save it. Next step would be converting this into a machine language so that we can execute this code. Now remember, we are going to be using G++ as our compiler. So to compile this code, that means to convert this code into a machine language, let's just go ahead and get a new terminal. And the terminal is just a place where I write commands. So I'm going to write G++, which is the name of my compiler, and then a space, and then I'm going to write main.cpp, which is the file that contains my code, my C++ code, and then space, and then I'm going to write -o, which basically means write the output into a file named main. So this main file without extensions is going to contain the machine language that I can execute. So once I hit enter, I get a file called main. Obviously, if I try to open this, this is basically nothing that I can display. It is a machine language. So in order to execute this, I write // and the name of the file, main, and I hit enter, and there you go, I have hello world written to the display. Now let's intentionally violate the rules of C++ by removing the semicolon from here, for example. Let's save the file, see what happens. Well, as you can see, the code editor is actually telling me that there is a problem with this red line, and if I point to it, it says expected a semicolon. I still, however, would like to try to recompile to see what the compiler would say. So in order to recompile, I need to write this command again. I can use the up and down arrows to go through the commands that I've written earlier and use any of them I want. But it would be a good idea to write the command for a few times, at least at the beginning. So let's just go ahead and do that. G++ main.cpp, the name of the file that I'm trying to compile, and then -o, and then the name of the executable file, main. So let's do this, and as you can see, it says expected a semicolon after the return statement. It's actually telling me at which line this error exists. It actually exists at line 7, and it's actually pointing to where it's expecting this semicolon. So this is an error statement that I can use to fix the code if I have any errors. So let's just go ahead and fix this code, compile it again, now with the arrow, just to make sure that everything is still going well. And it is. Now let's go back to our program and take a first step at explaining what these lines of code actually mean. This line here is called an include directive. Include directives allow us to include libraries in our program. In this particular example, I'm including a library called IOStream, which stands for Input-Output Stream. Libraries provide us with pieces of code that we can use in our program. This particular library, the IOStream library, is providing us here with cout, which we use to print things to the screen. I'll skip over this line of code for now, and I'll come back to it at a later time. This block of code is called the main function. We will talk about functions in depth later in this course, but for now, we need to know that every program needs to have a main function. So we will have this int, which stands for integer, and then main, opening parentheses, closing parentheses, and then the body of this main function will start with this opening brace and end with the closing brace here. So this is the body of the function. Now, what is special about the main function is that execution starts at the first line of the body of this function. Basically, it starts here. And then it proceeds line by line. So it starts with the cout statement and then moves to this return statement. Until we get to the point where we're ready to explain the meaning of every piece of this function, we're going to always write this template. So let me take this part out. So we're going to be writing this part and then return and this part. And the code for the task that we're trying to accomplish, we're going to be writing it between this opening brace and the return statement. So for this particular example, we're trying to display hello world to the screen. So this is the code that does this. So we're going to be writing it here. Now let's focus on this line of code here. As I mentioned earlier, cout is used to print things to the screen. Here we're trying to print a text, hello world. So when we're trying to print the text, we surround it with these double quotations. Everything that is between these double quotations is going to be printed as is, including the uppercase, lowercase, the space, and everything, until we hit the backslash. Once we hit the backslash, the next character has a special meaning. For example, the N here means that we're requesting a new line. So the prompt is going to be moved to the next line after printing this text. And this is exactly what's happening here. So once this text was printed, the prompt was actually placed on the next line. That's why this text is now printed on the next line. Obviously, we did not print this text. This is actually part of the terminal. But if I just go ahead and remove this new line, see what is going to happen. If I recompile and I run it again, now as you can see, the text is just printed on the same line. So that's why we're adding this new line to make the text readable. That's it for this video. In the next one, I'm going to show you how to install Visual Studio Code and G++, the code editor and the compiler that we used in this video, so that you can start writing your own programs. And we will take it from there. Bye.